disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Flixx, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partners, Angel Diaz and Joe Hartley. What's up, fellas?
Take two.
What's up?
Right, this is take two.
Hey, so I wonder, do you ever see Regina and Willie at tournaments anymore? Yeah, I wonder the same thing too. Because I always say whenever I hear their name, I go, maybe, maybe not. Hey, Trav, you should probably give him a signing. But here we go. We did the whole thing. For all y'all that don't know, we talked for at least like a good 10, 15 minutes. Didn't even know it was live. So you guys missed out on some good stuff, but it is what it is.
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Mondays, you've got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays is CTE with Chris Lowe's and Travis. Wednesdays is us, Fitz, Kicks, and Flix with Gene, Mike, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fellas, once again, it's showtime. What's happening?
Right, man.
Man.
How many episodes are we in? 116, and I think that's the first time since I've been here since that happened.
Yeah, that is the first time. We've never done it that far.
Well,
and
but
just forgot.
Gene's got 25 episodes without us. So did you and Mike ever have that happen?
Mm-mm.
So
yeah, I'll tell you what.
All right.
That really is we've never gone that
That's
long
a good
without
streak.
noticing.
That's a good streak. That's a good streak, though. I'll take it.
I'm mad because we were really in the mix. Like we were starting to catch our flow, and then we realized it wasn't even live.
Because you know what?
Good,
I know for a fact that Raw had at least one whole episode they recorded and didn't record it.
Oh wow, really?
Oh yeah, because they
episode?
talked about it. Yeah, so they talked about it. It was, I don't remember what episode, but they had a whole episode, and so the episode was another. They waited another week.
Yeah, because they got mad.
They talked about it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's.
I would get back again. Like I said, if we were 45 minutes in. You said that, I would have been like, we might as well just call this one an L, and we'll just keep it moving forward.
Yeah, and I don't know about CT or Inside Scoop. I haven't really heard them talk about recording one. I think Trav might. I think it happened.
I think it happened to Trav and Chris when they were doing it at Chris's school, like when they first started.
Something like that. I know that. Happened. So it's easy to do, and I've heard. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I've heard sometimes it's just that's what happens. And they got producers and all that stuff. So I mean, come on.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyhow,
go ahead.
Easy week, easy weekend. Still working a bunch, making some money, getting into our holiday groove, and getting ready for Thanksgiving, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Angel, how's your weekend been, man?
Oh, it was good. I actually came back out, did a tournament for the first time, and then came here, bro, and then got sick, which sucks. But
are you home?
Yeah, I'm home, bro. I'm in my bed. I didn't even set up a chair, no table. Like I couldn't do it this week. If you guys ever see this video and I just fall off the screen, it's just because my head hurts. It's just a lot.
All right, that's all good. It's all good. My weekend was pretty good. Me and Melissa, we celebrated our anniversary. So we had a good time. We went out to dinner and went to go see Wakanda Forever. So that was pretty good. Let me ask you guys this, because Melissa never seen any of the MCU. She's never seen Iron Man, Black Panther, none of it, right? So has your girlfriends, Angel or Joe, your girlfriends or wives ever seen any of these? Because this was the first one that she's seen.
No, she only saw Guardians of the Galaxy because she likes Chris Pratt. But I can never get her to watch an MCU, like any movie at all. Like I'm saying, like I've begged, I've tried to make it a Christmas gift, birthday gift, any type of fucking gift, and it's a no every time. I can put it on in the bedroom and she'll just go to sleep. Like she won't even watch it at all.
What about you, Joe?
Crazy. My wife and I, we've seen them all in theaters or at home.
Yeah, has she watched all of them from the very beginning with you, or I mean, did you ever have to go back and say, you know, this is the first, we're gonna start here, and I'm gonna work you through the MCU?
No, the only one that she did miss that we didn't go to the theater for because I had to see them in the theaters was Deadpool 2. And I waited till the last week it was in the theater, and I said, listen, if you can't go, I'm going without you. And I did. I went without her.
So I'm in a position now where I think I know the type of movies that she likes, and I know Melissa would like, you know, the MCU. But I'm trying to debate, like, okay, because she really liked Wakanda Forever, so she was like, well, now I want to watch the first one, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right. So if you watch the first one, she's probably going to enjoy Civil War also. So I'm like,
I was just about to say, now you got to do Avengers. Like you got to do that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. So I'm like, huh. So I just,
and then if you like Avengers,
beginning and just work her way, you know, through it.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
You know,
that's the best way to do it. Then she won't be lost.
Yeah,
I mean, she can watch some of them solo, but I'm the type of person I got to start from the beginning. So.
Yeah, because I know Ant-Man's coming out, and we saw the trailer at the theater, and you know, she seemed like she was intrigued by it. So if she watches that one also with me, because I think that comes out in February, so I know that she's probably going to want to watch the first two versions of Ant-Man, especially if she really likes, you know, the new Ant-Man movie, you know. So I'm like, well, I should just take her through the MCU. Okay, that's pretty good.
Fun.
Yeah, so you know, we had a good time hanging out. We didn't have any kids this weekend, so it was just me and her, you know, hanging out, cleaning up the house, you know, just relaxing, man. Because we're always on the move, especially me, man. I'm always here, there, doing something. Always gotta, I don't know, make something, fix something, build something, teach somebody something. There's always something to do, you know. So this weekend we just got to chill and, you know, hang out together. We had a good time. And this toothpick, man, this toothpick is great. You know, it's very good for, you know,
picking your teeth.
Yeah, taking care of your teeth. You know.
Okay.
My other laptop is still not up, so I'm not playing the movie. We're talking this week. We're looking at Blade of the 47 Ronin. Overall, what did you guys think of this movie?
I love the fight scenes.
Okay.
Love the fight scenes. I mean, so good. Fight scenes were on point. Really good. The story wasn't bad, actually, you know, for a movie that is like, for what it was supposed to be, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, so my thing about this was same thing. Story, no big deal. The fight scenes are great. To be honest with you, and I don't know if it was a problem or not, frankly, this has no connection to 47 Ronin except for that they involve descendants of the 47 Ronin.
I was going to say the same exact thing.
Nothing else in this movie like had anything to do with it.
The sword.
Oh, yeah, I get it. That's what I'm saying. Literally, like this movie could have just been called, you know, Samurai. Or so, and it would have been the same. Now, what I did like about this, because I had low expectations going into this, but it actually beat my expectations. When I was going into watching this, I said, like, you know, I wasn't sure what it was going to be because I thought it was going to be like a couple hundred years later. I mean, this is like modern times. So
I think
it was interesting.
To me, this reminded me of two things. It reminded me, like, it could be a manga comic and it can be anime. That's what this movie kind of reminded me of.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it also. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know. I didn't have any idea if I was going to like it or enjoy it. I hadn't heard anything about the movie. I did think it is a little campy and hokey. It has a little campy and hokey hokiness to it, but it was done in a good way. I believe if this movie was made in the 90s, it would have been on the level of Three Ninjas. It would have been really, really goofy if this was made in the 90s.
Yep.
And I think if it was made in the 80s, I think this movie would be looked at like The Last Dragon. That's in my opinion. That's my opinion.
I agree. My other thing that I really liked, I think this did what I wanted the first movie to do.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie, like a little bit of magic would have been okay. I would have been better even without magic. But this one was like, okay, we got some magic, but there was no dragon flying around or transforming into a wolf. It was just, I could throw a spell out every once in a while, and witches and sorcerers. But for the most part, it was just clean sword fighting and martial arts.
Mm-hmm. It was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it again if I catch it on. I'll stop and watch it. It wasn't bad. Like I thought it was gonna be stupid, but it wasn't. It was a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was wondering, like nobody seems to have a problem with these samurai walking around.
I said the same thing.
In broad daylight with big ass swords. Nobody had a problem with that. That seemed pretty weird, But other than that, it was cool. You want to start it off?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So we start off, and you're just watching some samurai walk around. They kind of are meeting up in a random building, and we find out this is what's known as a samurai. Oh no, sorry, that's later. This right now is two samurai meeting up from two different clans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one we find out is just a regular samurai. The other one is a sorcerer or a witch. They kind of call them both. I guess I was assuming women are a witch, men are a sorcerer. I don't really know how they kept going back and forth.
It kind of seemed like everybody was just called a witch. Because the main bad guy at the end, he even said that, like, I'm a witch and you're a witch. You're the same as me.
So these two guys that are meeting each other, they need each other, it seems like, but they don't trust each other. I guess their two clans have kind of been at war, and they are trying to come together to take out a bigger bad guy that's after both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we do find out is they're both the kind of the last descendants. One side is the warrior side, and the other side is the sorcerer side.
Now, hold on one second, Joe, before you continue. Did this confuse you at all? This part of the movie? It confused me because I thought they were going to explain what lineage they came from of who was of the 47 Ronin, because we learned a lot, even though there was a lot of them. It was 47 of them, but in the 47 Ronin, they only focused on a handful of them. The Keanu Reeves guy, the other guy who got through in jail for a year, the fat guy. But I thought they were going to tie them to that, to someone.
Well, here's what I deducted from that, and the only thing I could come up with, because I said the same thing. Now, the sorcerer side was May, whatever her name was, because she was the only witch from the original. So that's her lineage somehow. And then the other side can only really be Yoshino's son, because remember, he was the only one spared out of that 47. So I mean, it has to be a descendant of his, because he's literally the only bloodline. So his kids, whatever, how many generations? I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. They never said that.
Yeah, but
that's the only thing that makes sense.
But we don't know if those other samurai had any families. They never really talked about that, really, did they?
You're right. No, you're right. They didn't. And it didn't sound like Kai had any family.
Hold on one second. Angel, you got your mic on the bed or something? Because like, every time you moving, like I hear something. Okay, yeah, that's you. All right, go ahead, Joe.
So these two, like I said, they're trying to come together to take out. I think what was his name, Yuri or something like that.
Yes.
The sorcerer, the witch. And
yeah,
anyhow,
you're right.
Yuri. To do that, they each have a sword, the witch blade and the warrior blade, and apparently, under a certain circumstance, which we find out is under the blood moon, you can combine the two swords and kill this bad guy, or the bad guy, Yurei, who's coming after the sword, wants the sword, and he combines it, and supposedly he can like take over the world. So typical storyline.
In this scene, I had got a little confused also with the guy, one of the samurai. His name was Ari or Ra, and they made it seem like he had the warrior blade. I thought he did. Yeah. And especially with him saying that he was the last descendant and he had to combine them in order to kill Yurei.
Well, yeah, so I guess the prophecy says that you combine the two blades and then the warrior descendant is the one who has to wield it. So whoever's the descendant of the warrior. Now, during their conversation and their possible allegiance, they are attacked in this club that they're meeting at, and they're attacked by a group of ninja.
Those ninjas seem horrible. Once again,
you know, that's the way it goes.
I'm so tired of that. Like, ninjas are supposed to be badass, and in all of these movies, ninjas are the worst fighters. They always get beat up. There's always a bunch of them. Yep. And they always get beat up by a handful of good guys.
Man, you know what they are? They're the Foot Clan or the Putty.
Yeah, from pretty much.
Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
Yeah, go ahead, Angel.
Did you guys feel like this movie had more sorcery than the last one?
No, I didn't.
I mean,
I think
like I said, not really. I felt like it did. It was simple sorcery. It was just he was stopping people from attacking or like deflecting, bullets.
Yeah,
that was it.
It gave me like a Star Wars kind of vibe.
You're right about that. It did. Yeah, it did.
That's what I got from it.
Because all the samurai kind of seemed like Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. I gave like that Star Wars type of vibe.
So these two together, they take out all these ninja, but then Yurei, he makes the witch stab himself with his sword. Now here's what I don't understand. He's a witch too. Why aren't we having some Jedi mind trick battle instead of him just stabbing himself?
I don't know.
That bugged me a little bit because I'm like, you just literally got stabbed. You didn't even try to fight him. Like, I realize he's supposed to be the bad guy in all this, but you should have at least tried.
Yeah,
probably would have lost though. And then,
I mean, they were outnumbered. Not only did they have all these, it was just them two, and it was a bunch of ninja, and on top of that, Yurei.
Yeah. Well, so Yurei's it looks like his number 2. He looks like Rufio from Hook. He did. That's what he reminded me of. He fights him, and then Yurei gets up and slices his throat, and that's the end of these two. And I guess during their conversation, the warrior side said that there was a possible another descendant that they don't know about. So he doesn't really get a chance to talk about it, but then
they felt it. They felt that it wasn't over. Yurei felt it wasn't over.
Yeah, that's what Yurei said. He figured by killing them too, I guess he can use the force or something to feel. And so he was feeling, but he has no idea who it is. And then after that fight scene and those two dying, we end up in an airport and there's a girl. I guess she's waiting for a flight, and she looks like she's a thief who's looking for a mark.
That's exactly what she was doing.
Yeah, 100%. And she does. She ends up first she picks up somebody's wallet by some mom that dropped her wallet and hands it to her, but then she ends up ripping off some guy who's kind of pompous and seems a little cocky and runs into him and takes his wallet. And we actually come to find out, and you have to assume since they talked about it, she's probably the new descendant.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to another scene, and this is where we were kind of making fun of earlier. You have all these people jumping out of cars, and they're all dressed like samurais and ninjas, and they're having a samurai summit. And they're literally walking around the streets dressed like samurai with swords on their backs or in their hands. Like, I mean, like you said, big, long katana blades. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe people thought it was cosplay.
Did they say where this movie took place? I can't remember. It took
place in Tokyo. Fuck you mean?
It did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had no idea. I
didn't know.
You couldn't tell whenever they showed like the backgrounds of the skylines and all that?
You know what? Honestly, I turned on my closed captioning because I didn't want to miss anything that they said.
Oh, I watch every movie like that. You guys got me hooked on that now. Yeah, I can't even watch a TV show without it having closed captioning.
So now, you know, I'll read it what they're saying, and then I can still look up and I'll catch them saying it also because the words come up, the whole sentence comes up before the actors say it, and then I'm paying attention to them. I'm not really looking at the background too much when I'm watching these movies.
So this is a summit. It looks like to me there's about 3 different clans because they give pleasantries and honoring these 3 clans, and there seems to be a little bit of shade thrown towards one of the clans, and we're not really sure why until later, I guess. But they're talking about the warrior blade and the witch blade, and they're trying to figure out how they can get their hands on both and then find the person who's supposed to wield it. And for whatever reason, the one clan whose leader is Master Shinaro or something like that. I just had it. Shinshiro, who is played by Mark DeGrassos. He knows the descendant and talks about it's the girl that we saw at the beginning.
You know what's funny?
At the airport.
When they showed him, I'm looking at him the whole time. I'm thinking like this guy looks very, very familiar. Melissa picked it out. Melissa picked it out immediately that she knew who he was. She was like, "That's the guy from the other movies."
Yeah, from Old and Strong.
Yeah, and then she pulled up his Wikipedia or his IMDb, and she said, "Oh yeah, he was in Double Dragon. You know, he was one of those guys, and that's what I really remember him from was Double Dragon."
Yep.
And
he's also on Iron Chef.
Really?
Yep. He's a big time chef. Or the host.
I did not know that. Okay.
I know because I seen him on there and I'm like, what's this dude doing here?
Now, when he was on Iron Chef, was he using a katana to cut up something? Or?
I think they do it every once in a while, like to be because he's real hokey on there.
Man, I was actually trying to make a joke. Really?
No, because that's why he's on there. He part of his gimmick of being on there is his martial arts background.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, but it's 2 guys facing off every week. One guy comes in off the street, and the other is a famous chef, and you try to beat the famous chef.
That's one show that I've never watched. I haven't seen that one. I've seen a lot of those cooking shows, but that one was one I've never seen.
It's interesting, but I gotta say something. I mean, I know we're getting off here a little bit. Just if I was if my job was to be like this top end chef, and some dude off the street comes in and beats me, I quit my job because that's not right. But it happens a lot. Like they get beat a lot.
But you don't know these guys' background. They can have some type of culinary skills or went to college.
I mean, and they put they give them challenges, so it's not your everyday just one thing. It's challenge. But so we got so we're figuring out, kind of trying to figure out these 2 guys are how they're gonna find this descendant. They have their little meeting. The meeting's over, and then we go to these 2 girls that were part of Mr. Shinaro's clan, and they're fighting and they're kind of talking a little bit of junk about everything that's going on. The one girl was adopted by Shannaro, and I think her name, I was just looking it up, is Onami. Onami. And they give a bit of her story later. And then is it Maya that she's fighting against right now, I believe?
Now that I don't know, because those girls, I know one of the girls is her sister, and that's the one that's judging.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the other girl.
So you got one person kind of judging this whole thing, and the two are fighting each other, and they're talking about certain things, and just kind of how those things went down at the summit, how there was a little bit of shade thrown their way, how she could do a better job, and this and that, and they're the shade was actually thrown towards her because she is supposedly the successor of Master Shikaro. So since she's kind of an outsider, since he adopted her and not blood,
but
I think
also
that's where,
because she was a woman, also I didn't think women were allowed to be samurai, so they were something else.
Yeah.
So she was upset about that.
They're not allowed to be. Like that's like a traditional, I guess, stereotype you could say, right? It's like the women were supposed to meant to be look after the kids and keep the house ready for the men when they get back from war. And then please their needs, all that other stuff. But
well, she didn't seem like she was doing that. I mean, it was a group of them that were there at this meeting, so it didn't seem like they were taking care of home.
Well, I mean, she was woke. She was woke.
I think her being allowed in the meeting was almost like kind of like disrespectful, but they said, she belongs here. So they go to a club, this small group of women, and they meet up with a former samurai who's now Ronin, and his name is Ryo. And I guess he has information about the descendant that they're looking for. And supposedly right now, are they at the club where the descendant is trying to? Yeah, she is trying to get rid of or sell a sword. Yep. And of course, during all this, more ninjas come in and start attacking. One of them was just like a clown.
You know what was weird about this thing, which was almost stupid?
Yeah.
A fight breaks out in this club with swords.
Yes.
And everyone is standing around watching. No one's running away. Nobody's screaming. They're watching like it's a show. That was stupid to me.
And they're killing people.
Yes, they're killing people. And people are just standing there watching.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll probably stay for a little bit. Just to see what's going to happen.
Okay, Angel.
Yeah.
In your time, people are not going to be standing around fighting with swords. They're going to have 9s. They're going to have AKs. They're going to have heavy artillery. And you mean to tell me you're going to stand there watching?
No.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm going to be honest with you. Once you pull out a gun, then I would run. But if you have a knife or a sword, I feel like I have a chance.
I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be around.
Just because, like, let's just say like a sword, right? I'm not saying you can't cut me and kill me, but I feel like it takes a lot more skill to wield a sword and a knife than it does a gun. My honest opinion.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong.
My thing is, if a fight breaks out, I'm immediately thinking, let me get the hell out of here because somebody might have a gun. I don't know who's fighting. I don't know what these people's problem is. As long as it ain't my people fighting, I'm out. I'm not sticking around. I don't care who's fighting. I don't care who winning. I'm out. I ain't watching nothing.
Plus,
I don't want to be. Plus, I don't even want to be a witness. I don't feel like talking to no cops.
But then they killed the witness. They killed the witness too. That's the problem.
Yeah, even more reason not to be a witness.
Well, okay, you know what? When you put it like that, then I can understand leaving. But like in my first thought is when I see it, I'm gonna go, oh, well, I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, you're still a young guy, man.
Yeah, you're right.
You're still a young guy.
He'll learn. So they take out the ninjas, and then Lord Shannaro, he shows up, And Luna is this girl's name, as we find out. She's a bit of a smartass.
Mm-hmm.
She's very sarcastic. Seems a little angry. And she doesn't really get that everyone is so, they're bowing to Lord Shannaro. They're, they're very respectful, and she's just kind of like swearing and super sarcastic. He even tells her like,
language,
stop swearing, language. It's kind of stupid, but it is what it is. And they're talking to her about the sword. Is this your father's sword? And they've deducted that this is the warrior blade that they're looking for, and she is the descendant that they need to wield that sword.
Yeah, Rio had been tracking her, and he knew that she was coming to the club because he knew that she was supposed to be selling it. Did he say that he hacked into her email or something, or into any of her accounts? Is that how he knew where she was going to be? Because he had all of them meet him at the club.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember him saying anything about that, and I don't think he was the one doing the hacking, because we meet a character later that kind of has hacking and psychic abilities of some sort.
Right.
But so if anything, it was probably that guy who did all that. But yeah, so they didn't really explain that. Meanwhile, Luna, she really wants nothing to do with this group. She's like, yeah, I don't care what you are. I don't care about your prophecy. You want my sword, you can buy it. Basically was her attitude. But the problem is, and they've explained it to her twice now, we don't just need the sword. We need you to wield the sword to fulfill the prophecy. So good luck convincing her of that. Now, the thing they do have on their side is at least they're trying to keep her safe from more ninjas. And, I don't think she should turn that down, because if ninjas are following me and you got people with swords walking around, I'm going to hang out with those people. That's just my personal opinion. They end up going to a samurai safe house, which is also kind of silly to me. But like I said, these are modern day samurai.
Yeah, it was a little different, huh?
It really was.
I kind of like that. I mean, because that could explain how in movies different ninjas disappear so quickly.
Yep.
They just went into their house. They had stashed around the corner. That's why you can't see them. They're waiting for you to leave. Then they'll come out and then they'll go home, So ninja, samurai, if they have stash houses all over the world, I get it. That makes sense.
So they're trying to meet up with the other clans, and they're trying to figure out how to keep her safe, and figure if she does have the warrior blade, which they're assuming. And 2, they need to now figure out where the witch blade is and then to combine them. And we find out this all has to happen before the blood moon, which I guess is in 5 days. Now, of course, during this process of trying to figure all this out and reunite with the rest of the clans, they're attacked by ninja again.
What did you guys think of the costumes and their outfits? Not just the ninjas, but I'm also talking about the samurai also. Because they didn't stick to what traditional movies would do. Like traditional movies,
I liked it.
I did too.
I liked it. It made me like want to watch them. Like it made me want to see what they were wearing, but it was cool.
Yeah, because it was different. They didn't stick to the traditional tropes of the headgear, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Now, this was our first big fight scene. I mean, there was some small fight scenes, a little bit of sword fighting, but this is a lot of ninja, a lot of samurai, swords and blood and guts and beheadings and everything going on. And they're all trying to protect Luna, but Raya shows up. And of course, he's using his magic to try and, make things go his way. Now, the thing that gets me here is he does not really attack everybody. He just kind of helps out a little bit.
Is he really there? Is he really there, or is he just... it kind of seemed like to me like he was watching from a distance and like in a trance. Like he could see what's going on because nobody acknowledged him. Luna felt he was there, and at one point in time, she was looking in his direction, but she didn't say, "Who are you?" or "What are you doing?" She didn't say anything, and no one.
Man, you just changed this whole thing for me because that whole scene, I thought he was there.
Yeah,
and you're probably right. I think you're right.
I don't think he was there. I just think he was like kind of in his head watching everything.
That makes more sense because he didn't really intervene in that fight.
No, he didn't. He didn't do anything.
And his people showed up, but all right, that makes sense to me. So now I guess they are at another safe house, and it's interesting because it's kind of a warehouse, and one of the I think it's Luna makes kind of a comment of, "Oh, great, this is a samurai safe house, and it looks like a place for kids to buy drugs." Which is not right. I mean, it looks like a bunch of high school kids, but the second they walk up and they basically demand to see one of Aro's friends named Dash, who was the one that he said kind of helps track and everything. And one of the people who we thought was like a student or something like that, or just a random person standing there, stands up and she gets ready to pull out a knife. She means business. So I guess she's the bodyguard.
Is Dash that tall person?
No, Dash is the one inside on the computer.
Okay, who is the tall person with the pink hair?
And that's the one that I'm talking about right now, and I don't know. She's just.
Was it a she? I couldn't tell if that was a man or a woman or transgender. I couldn't tell.
It's possible.
Huh.
But either way, she was ready to mess some stuff up.
She didn't really talk either. She didn't say anything. Well, she just kind of just walked around and led them places.
Yeah. Well, later he has a few choice words, but that's about it.
Right.
So we get inside the building and we meet Dash, and he's just he looks like a kid, honestly.
Yeah.
He's around. He's got computers everywhere. He's got a hacker. This kind of reminded me.
I didn't like him.
Yeah, he was weird. He was
because it's weird. It's weird for 1 second. He seems like you said, he seems like a kid. Somebody that is playing video games and drinking pizza. I mean, eating pizza and drinking Mountain Dew all day. And then the next scene, he's acting like he's Yoda from Star Wars. I didn't get it. It was a weird mix of a character for me with this guy.
He was all over the place,
and I couldn't even tell if it was just him that was what did they call him? They had a particular word they called him,
like a seer.
Yeah, but oh man, I can't think of the word that they kept referring to him as. But I thought it was more than one person. And when they got there, it was a lot of people around. But later on, when they left, it was just him. It seemed like he had a lot of people working for him. That was researchers. They called them the researchers or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Or record keepers, something to that effect. I thought it was going to be more than just one.
I think it was record keeper. I think you're right.
Okay. So I thought it was like a group of them. And we see a group of people because we see multiple people in this scene on computers. But then, long after this, it's just him. It's just Dash. I was wondering what happened to the rest of them. Did they get killed or did I miss something? I don't know.
So they're still trying to explain to Luna about her descendants and everything. And she's trying to say, like, I don't think you have the right person and everything. And she's got a lot going on and she's just trying to figure it out. And then Dash shows us, I guess, an ability that he has where he kind of opens and closes his eyes. His eyes go all glowing and I guess he's like possessed for a second. It was odd.
Yeah.
And he kind of just shows the two blades being joined together and kind of gives the prophecy that supposedly Luna is supposed to fulfill. And it causes him distress. His nose starts bleeding. His bodyguard is kind of wiping his nose and taking care of him, all that.
But in his vision, he doesn't see Luna putting the swords together. He sees Yurei doing it.
Yep. So I guess he's seeing what could happen if it goes the other way. or at least that's what we can assume at this point, because we're not. I mean, we're not sure yet what's going on.
Well, I think his powers seemed a little off. If you think about what happens later, he should have known. He should have known. Like, everybody that's here with me probably shouldn't be here.
Yes. But I mean, that's something you figure that out later, I guess.
Yeah.
Aro talks about how he's kind of put trackers on everyone without them knowing, including Master Shintaro, and he's a little mad about it. He's not happy, but he's also tracking the other samurai that they're looking for, and so now they can go meet up with them.
Yeah, those guys were at they were at the fight when all those ninjas appeared earlier. They were there, but they were like in another room or something fighting. And I didn't get that one guy. Like, he's wearing a trench coat, like he's Inspector Gadget or Columbo, or
I have no idea.
I didn't like his outfit.
He was, and he liked. He had a sword.
Yes,
that he was pretty good with, but he also had a gun. And he was talking about he liked the modern day weapons a little more than his sword.
Yeah, and he wasn't hiding it. Like, he didn't keep it concealed. Like, he had the gun wrapped around his jacket.
So Shinaro, he leaves with the one sister, that's, I guess, is his actual blood, and then not the adopted sister. And the other group, they go to train Luna on how to wield the sword. I get the idea of this happens in these shows all the time.
A little montage.
Well, the montage I don't mind. I get the montage. What I have trouble with is saying, "Oh, you have no training. Now we're going to train you in 3 days."
Yeah,
dude. People have gotten black belts from yellow belt in 1 day before Christmas. They had to get their father. Like, come on, man.
That's never just not going to be funny. So it's just the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Like, they had to see their dad again, and that was the only way he was going to come back, is if he had a black belt.
Sometimes, like, this was such a short period of time to have to train her. Time was ticking, and she had to know how to. This is someone who does not know how to use a sword, so she needs. And I don't think it's 5 days anymore. It might be like 3 or 2 at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, it's less than 5 days.
Yeah. So can you imagine? Can you imagine someone teaching you a form, and you're going to go do this form on Saturday at the tournament, but it's Thursday, and you're learning this new form now that you're going to go do? Like,
it's probably not going to go well.
How's that going to work out for you?
Yeah, and that's the problem. So in this situation, it's you're going against killers who have been training for their whole life. So I'm sorry, I don't care who's teaching you and how well you're learning. You're not going to beat these killers. You might beat some of these ninjas because, well, they're terrible, but not other samurai. You're not going to beat the other samurai.
I don't think we've ever met ninjas that were like top tier.
Ninja assassin.
According to these, wait a minute. You got an American ninja that's top tier, right, Angel?
No. I'm saying like henchmen ninja. Like, we've never met henchmen ninja that were like we saw them and we're like, damn, like, it's gonna be a tough fight for these people. Like,
because henchmen are pawns. Henchmen are pawns. So
that means they can't be smart. That's terrible.
Apparently not. That's only for the master ninjas. What did you guys think of all the training? Because I kind of liked the little montage. She was stabbing through rings, which was okay. They were blindfolding her, trying to get her senses up, doing sword slices in the water. They had a thing where you had to race to get something, and then whoever threw it to the guy first, and you kind of had to fight. So I mean, it was interesting. It was some fun stuff, even though, like I said, it's impractical, but it was fun.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, and I think the writers and directors probably knew that, okay, this is not really going to be realistic if we have her, at the end of this movie displaying all of this power and kicking all this ass. That did not happen.
No, I agree with you. Which I'm glad it did go down the way it goes.
Exactly. Okay, continue.
Well, the other good thing I liked about this is she's actually kind of starting to believe more in this. She's not really. She's a little less sarcastic. She's starting to trust these people. She's starting to feel herself a little bit. So for them, that's good because if she's going to fulfill the prophecy, she's got to at least stick around to help. So
Melissa wants this kind of training.
Does she?
Yeah. So she's gonna start. I'm gonna start training her. But she was, we were talking over the weekend. She wants to be a black belt, and I'm like, it's gonna take time. You're not about to get a black belt in 6 months. That's not gonna happen. You know
what you gotta do. You gotta tell her, I'm gonna leave the house, and if you don't get a black belt before Christmas, I'm not coming back. I'm just saying, bro. Okay, it's possible.
That's one reference too many on that damn movie.
I'm just putting it out there. Joe, I don't want to hear that because this guy said he wanted to be kept as a pet if his son was Satan. I'm not gonna hear that was one too many when this guy's saying I want to be kept as a pet.
Listen, man.
And then he said, that was clever. And then he said, well, I guess my girl's gonna die because I'm gonna live. Because I'm the one who said I want to be kept as a pet. And Champ is
that was her decision. That's her decision. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh man.
So Luna, so this is where I think you're right about the wizard or the witch not being there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Luna again talks about feeling a presence following her.
Mm-hmm.
And again, before they get to this next safe house where they're finishing up some of their training and they're trying to track down the Witchblade. And Dash has a kind of a one-on-one with Luna and is giving her a bit of her lineage and gives her a tablet that
well, hold on,
that helps her with that.
Hold on. Now this part was a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Because the way he asked to see the warrior blade was really, really creepy. And I was like, I was thinking like, what is this guy's problem? What is his issue? The way he asked for it. Did you guys seem like he was like, I was thinking like, maybe is he a bad guy? Did you guys get that?
I think they wanted you to think that. I think they
that's what I was thinking at first.
Okay.
Now at the same time, she's learning more about her lineage, and he's analyzing the warrior blade, I guess. The rest of the group is trying to track down their master and see wherever, and they haven't been able to get a hold of him, and the tracker has gone offline.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's talking, and things are going on, and Dash has another kind of premonition. Only this time, Enaro, he somehow gets into the premonition and kind of connects with that and blocks him from seeing what he was trying to see, and also kind of tries to connect with Luna, and that also allows them to figure out where they're all staying. And Luna, I guess, is upstairs, and meanwhile downstairs, the bad guys all show up. The henchmen, along with I don't know his name, so I'll just call him Rufio because that's what he looks like. It's just what he reminds me of every time I see him. And then, meanwhile, we see Master Shinaro and his daughter confront Inaro. And so they're kind of going back and forth with these two scenes. And during this, Dash is trying to explain a discovery he made on the blade, and during which his quote unquote bodyguard turns on them, and we find out that the bodyguard has been working for the opposition and starts taking out the other group and also kills Dash.
He's a ninja.
And then yes.
Or she's a ninja.
And yes. And also during the time where Luna is connecting with Enjaro or whatever his name is.
You're right.
Oh yeah, Yurei. Man, I can't keep up with all these names. Yurei. And he's talking to her about she's not the warrior. She is the witch.
Mm-hmm.
So she is a descendant of the witch. And then the other thing that Dash figured out is that she does not have the warrior blade. She has the witch blade. So now we're kind of looking here and we're saying, okay, so that's a big twist, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising, but nonetheless a big twist. During this scene, while everyone's kind of getting jacked up, Master Shintaro, he gets killed.
Shinshiro.
Same thing. And so his daughter ends up fighting and also gets killed. And so this is not good for the good guys. The good guys are all kind of taking an L on this whole situation. And Luna comes down and sees kind of the chaos that has ensued. And they also took her blade. So now they have to kind of figure out and regroup and meet up with the rest of the people. They have a ceremony for their dead and their master. And
well, Dash did something before he died.
Yeah, he did send a message to, I'm assuming it was Luna. We do find out later is Luna.
Yeah.
During the ceremony, the team kind of puts the adopted daughter, I think her name was Anaya, in charge. And she kind of doesn't know what to do. Yeah, Onami. She doesn't really know. She's not very confident that she should be in charge, even though the rest of the team is behind her and feels like, she's ready. So, like I said, they're trying to figure out, one, their next move, and they're trying to figure out where the Witchblade is. And during this time, Luna, she takes off. She's going to go get on a plane. She's out of here. She's done trying to fulfill the prophecy until she picks up the tablet given to her by Dash and realizes he sent a message, and it was telling her, one, she has the Witchblade, and two, where to find the Warrior Blade. Now, here's the part that kills me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of the group figures this out, which I'm not really sure how. But she goes there by herself. Luna has no weapon and is probably being followed, but still ends up going to get this blade by herself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a huge problem with that. She should have got in touch with the group and got some backup.
Well, she didn't really know who was alive, right? Because she comes out and Dash is dead and her sister's dead.
Yeah.
Right? No. That was Onami. Onami was her sister. But she was there, so she didn't know, who was around, who was like. I didn't see any of these people really with cell phones, so maybe she didn't have.
They all had cell phones. Even the master, they were all in contact with cell phones.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that a couple times.
Well, maybe she just didn't have their numbers. She did just meet these people 2 days ago.
True. So she goes. The Warrior Blade's at a grave, and she goes to the grave, collects the Warrior Blade, and then is confronted by Yura, and he basically tries to convince her to join his side because he's a witch, she's a witch, and she's not really. She's not in for that. She's like, she really believes in the people, the prophecy. So they end up kidnapping her, and everybody else is trying to figure out. They're going to go meet at the place where you're supposed to make the blade, and then I guess they're going to have one final battle here. And they don't know that Luna is there until they get there. Meanwhile, they're on like a subway, I guess it is.
Yeah.
And again, attacked by ninja.
Onami. Yep. Onami saw it
Onami,
coming.
yeah, she saw it coming, and she kind of told everyone what to do and where to meet up. So I like this scene. This was a fun scene. They're just running through these carts on the subway, just slicing and dicing ninja and kicking, and it was pretty sweet.
I wish I can remember that one guy's name. The guy that had the trench coat on, because he shows back up. He's there. Him and his partner got jumped by some ninjas, and I don't remember his partner name, but we assume that his partner is killed because it seems that way. But we find out not long after this that he's still alive.
So
Not
his
only that,
partner is Ikadaya Dea, and
okay.
he is Lord Nico.
Okay.
Or
all right.
Yeah, he's Lord Nico.
Okay, so Lord Nico finds out that Ikadea is still alive, and not only that, he is ninja. Because we see him earlier talking to
Yep.
Yuri. Okay.
So they finish off this group on the subway, and then where is it that they're actually meeting? Is this a warehouse again? Is this a hotel or something?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm not really sure. I'm looking at it right now, but I can't tell. Anyhow, he an arrow, he puts the blade together, and
just like in the prophecy.
Yep, just like they saw, and then everyone kind of creeps up on him and his crew. They're taking out some of their ninjas, and then everyone's kind of squaring off to have one last fight. And Onami takes on the bodyguard with the pink hair. She wants to avenge her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Who takes on
Lord Nico and Ikadea fight?
Yep, they're having a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but who took on Euro? Oh, Anayo. He's fighting them first.
You mean Rio?
Yeah, Rio.
Okay. Did we talk about Shinshiro, that he died?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just making sure. Now, Lord Nico also calls in backup. So he goes and gets some of his clan, because we see them and they come in looking like a SWAT team. They didn't look like samurai at all.
It was very interesting. No, Rio's taking on what's his face first? Rufio.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
They don't ever tell that guy's name. Anyhow, everyone, these are some pretty good fight scenes. It was interesting to me with Nico. Him and those two were fighting each other, and they weren't letting each other draw their swords at first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the funny thing about that to me was he had a gun.
Yeah.
Both times that they were jocking each other to not pull their swords out, just turn around and blast them in the face.
Well, I and you know what I was thinking? Maybe he felt that's not honorable. That's not an honorable thing to do.
Yeah, well, the way he did finish them off was cool, because they were kind of faced off. They finally did get their swords out. They had a really good sword fight. Mm-hmm. And then during a point where they were kind of deadlocked, he had a sword behind him, pulled that sword out and just sliced my man across the chest, and then literally like pounded it into his chest until he died. So that was a little crazy to me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I never saw an ending like that for someone. Yuri was fighting Lord Nico's clan. That's what he was fighting.
Yep. And then Onami, she takes out the bodyguard, and then Luna ends up with the prophecy sword, and she goes to stab Yuri, but it does nothing. And then she takes the sword, ends up throwing it to Onami, which I had already figured this out.
I did
too. The second you tell me there's an adopted child who doesn't know where they come from, I'm like,
You're the one.
Come on. You're Neo. You're the one. It's over. So she gets the blade. The blade starts glowing in her hands. She realizes she's the warrior. She's the prophecy. And Luna, who's never done magic in her life, starts throwing out the same magical Naruto sign as Yurei and
But we
holds
see her.
him in place.
We see her practicing that earlier in the movie because she's remembering that she saw him do that.
So she holds him in place with his own kind of spell, I guess you could call it, allowing Onami to roll, stab him, and then cut his head off.
Right.
And so that's the end of the fight. Some good fight scenes. I really enjoyed it. And then everybody's kind of congratulating each other, hugs for everyone, and then we go to like the next day, and there's a new.
I was surprised.
Summit.
I was surprised they did that next day. I was like, these damn movies, they always end without wrapping stuff up. And then it went to black, and then it popped back up, and we see the next day. I said, okay, cool, thank you.
Yep. And they they're at the Warrior Summit and the Samurai Summit, and they're now acknowledging Onami as the clan leader, which was different from the beginning. No more shade thrown her way. And then she is holding the sword, the two swords together in a, like, it's all wrapped up. Now, I don't know if she was presenting it to the summit or they were going to go, like, they didn't really explain, like, what was she going to do with it?
Yeah, that made me think there might be another movie coming. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But, like, if the best thing to me, if that sword is so powerful and sought after, why not split them up again and try to keep them away from each other?
And maybe that's what the next movie, if they do another movie, maybe that's what it might be about.
Because, I mean, she's going to have to be looking over her back the whole time.
Yeah, keeping these things apart.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about that, but who sees? So, I mean, personally, like I said, I had low expectations for the movie. It went above my expectations. Like I said, it didn't, I mean, other than the lineage, it really didn't refer to 47 Ronin to me that much. But I like this one better than the original.
I did too. Now, let me ask, I believe they said that the Witchblade is what Keanu Reeves used to kill that witch in the original movie, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I think that's what they said. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that I did hear that's what was said. Okay, all right. Did they say where the warrior blade came from?
Never mentioned it.
Okay, all right. So the Witchblade was the only one that was mentioned from the previous movie. Okay, I got it.
So overall, I know I gave the other one a low C. I'll give this one a B plus because I did like it. Good action, story. I mean, the story was the story. It was fine. It's a few things that were messy, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. It's pretty simple, so no big deal. And yeah, I'd definitely recommend this and watch it again.
Yeah, me too. I think I'll give it a B plus. B plus, yeah. I don't really have too many complaints on the movie, and like you said, I did enjoy this better than the other movie. And this movie just came out a couple of weeks ago, so it's relatively new.
Yeah, that's like I said. I was just looking around and saw it, and was like, "Oh, no kidding."
Yeah, B plus also. I actually really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, if this came out in the 90s, I think it would have really been on the level of Three Ninjas. There would have been three doofuses in this movie running around saying stupid stuff, weird stuff, just slapstick. Yes. And if this was and I believe that it was in the 80s, especially 83, 84, 85 around that time, as when Last Dragon and Karate Kid came out, this would be looked at like one of those movies, so.
Yes. All right, what are we doing next?
So I was gonna give you guys a choice. Do you guys want to watch? So there's one movie I watched that I'm not gonna say it's a terrible movie. I think it'll be funny for us to watch it. Then there's two movies I found on Netflix I thought were pretty good. So the movies I found on Netflix, if we want to watch another series in terms of samurai, there's one called Rurouni, I think it's called Kenshin Rurouni Kenshin, and basically the plot just said he was an ex-assassin samurai and protects a village without killing people. So it said his sword is an inverted blade, so he's not allowed to like slice people up and kill them. And then so there's two of those. There's the first one, which came out in 2012, and then in 2021 they came out with like a prequel called The Beginning, showed what he did as the assassin. Again, just read the bios on that. Or they have a new Never Back Down movie called Revolt. Never Back Down doesn't have Michael Jai White. It actually is a female cast. Like, so it talks about like it being a female and she's put into, you know, fighting like an MMA illegal underground fighting. Or we could watch Tekken. Which one? Tekken, like based off the video game. I saw that movie. I think I have it upstairs. I saw it.
I remember it. I've seen it.
You've seen it? Okay, so yeah. What do you guys want to do?
I'll let you guys pick. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I thought Joe said something about I was doing a bunch of samurai stuff, so
we could do the Kenshin one that's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm seeing 3 of these Kenshin ones.
You saw 3? I only see 2. Hold up, I only see 2.
There's Ronin Kenshin the beginning, then just Ronin Kenshin, and then Ronin Kenshin the final.
Oh, get the hell out of here!
So you guys want to do all 3 of those?
I'll give them a try, man. I'm down with that.
They came out with the final and the beginning all in the same year.
All right, so so I want to know: are we going to do this in order, or that it came out, or do them in order how we should watch it?
What do you think?
Don't matter to me.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I tried to look up Thanksgiving karate movies, and there was none.
maybe we should write one.
I typed it in Google. I tried typing it like 3 different ways, and nothing came up. But I don't know. What do you think? You think we should do it as like watch the prequel, then the other one, and then the final?
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. Yeah,
because it's 2012 was the original.
Exactly.
And then beginning and final are 21.
Those are probably be better. They're probably better cinematography in the newer ones. So I don't know. Let's do it in order the way that the story would go. So let's do the beginning.
The beginning. Okay.
Yeah, let's do the beginning, and then we'll do the 2012 one, and then we'll come back and do the finale on the last one.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right, cool. You guys got any closing remarks?
No, I'm good.
From me.
No, okay. Except for make sure you guys check out the Martial Arts in the Network Patreon. Make sure that you guys subscribe to that to get some bonus content. Continue to listen to us. Man, I haven't checked in with Travis to see the numbers in a long time. I want to see if we got 250 yet, because I want us to do our Fist Kicks and Flixx with drinks. I see Angel's not really feeling that. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week. Make sure that you listen to us and also go to Jump Kick Athletics. Producer, play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.